Good afternoon, everyone. I am Rudolph. I will be your host for this afternoon's collaboration between IAA Philippines and PSQ. So, can you please type hi? So, for those who are viewing rather on Facebook and on YouTube, can you please say hi, Rudolph, on the comment section or, yeah, on the comment section of either platform? So, can you please type hi, Rudolph? So there are more viewers on YouTube than on Facebook here for PSQ. So good afternoon from Lillian. Hi, good afternoon from Professor H. Good afternoon from Ariel, Jason Nang. From Crisel Fernandez, also good afternoon. From Lorenzo, also saying good afternoon. And from Sir Amador Akpan, good afternoon. All right. So there are a lot of Hi Rudolphs also there on YouTube and on Facebook. We have one on Facebook. We have one Hi Rudolph from Geraldine and from Hermie. Wow, there are a lot of active viewers here on the PSQ social media platforms. So again, I'm Rudolph. I'm the Professional Development Manager of IAA Philippines. And right now, it's raining on this part of Laguna. So may I get to know, kumusta tayo dyan? Where are you now? Nasaan kayo ngayon? So, thank you, Sir Jason Dizon. Nasaan po kayo ngayon? Say, where are you now in Mindanao, in Luzon, in Visayas? Okay. Okay, someone is also in Laguna. May nagsasabi Antipolo. Okay, ER Viaje says he's also from Laguna. We're from Kabuya, kapitbahay. Bea is also kakatabi from Tinlupa. Christina says she's from Quiapo. Oh, may taga Makati. Okay, from Jensan. Okay, uy, that's the farthest so far, huh? From Dasma Cavite. Uy, we have one in Nueva Ecija. Hi, Joji. Okay. Who else? May mas malayo pa ba sa Jensan? Baka is someone from abroad? Hi, Gemma from Subic Bay. And Tarlac Province. Hashtag PSQ Nation. That's Angeli. Hi, Angeli. Kumusta dyan? Sir Jason Dizon, 40, Cavite, Philippines. Hi, Maricar. Inarkait Pangasinan. Taga Pangasinan mo. And Jasmine, hi Rudolph, hello, hello, hello. So there are plenty of us here on YouTube and on Facebook, and you're so active. I love this. This is from East Camculede Dagupan. Okay, hi. So there you go. Now, at this point, as I mentioned, this is the first collaboration between two organizations that value excellent quality. And these are the Philippine Society for Quality, of course, and the Institute of Internal Auditors Philippines. For these two organizations, this collaboration event is historic. Quality management revolves around providing excellent service to customers and stakeholders. Internal auditors intend to add value to organizations to provide quality management or to provide quality itself. So this will be our core discussion today. So before we start, let us hear the welcome messages from the how would I describe them? From the handsome, from the dashing, from the debonair presidents of both PSQ and IA Philippines. And let us start first with the president of PSQ, or Philippine Society for Quality. Ladies and gentlemen, let us all welcome Dr. Ray Fermista.
All right. So thank you so much for that, Rudolph. What a wonderful afternoon, or what a wonderful day to PSQ Nation and to all of those who registered from around the globe. Thank you so much for spending this time learning with us. On a monthly basis, as you would have noticed, we deliver topics that we believe that are of value to you. And for the past couple of months, we provided you with free multiple learning events per month in different formats, and we will do the best way we can to partner with you on your journey. And today, as mentioned by Rudolph, this is another special day for PSQ. As you would have seen in our infomercials, in our posters and mailers, that this event is in collaboration with the Institute of Internal Auditors Philippines, or IAAP. So to Sir Amador Rakpan, the president of IAAP, to the board of trustees and leadership team of IAAP, thank you so much. This is just the start of our partnership. I can say that together we are powerful. That's what Helen Keller stated that alone we can do so little, together we can do so much. So to all of you, enjoy while learning and share your insights and questions. And I wish you and your loved ones continued good health.
Thank you, Dr. Ray. Okay, and thank you, Dr. Ray. I love that quotation by Helen Keller, and that is, alone we can do so little, but together we can do so much. And indeed, this collaboration would we would be doing so much with this collaboration. There you go. So if you agree that Dr. Ray is not just a very insightful president, but a handsome president, can you please type a quote, type an exclamation point on the comment section there? Okay, this time let's also hear it from another handsome president. Okay, this time from IAA Philippines. Let us all welcome the president and chairman of IAA Philippines, Sir Amador Racpan. Hi, Sir Ador.
Hi, Rudolph. Thank you. Alam kong nag-expect ka ng bonus kaya sinabihan mo kung handsome din. Pero let me acknowledge na talagang Dr. Ray is the more handsome guy between the two of us. Okay. Anyway, good afternoon to all the officers and members of PSQ present today. I hope everyone is fine and in good health wherever you are. First, let me acknowledge in this meeting the presence of Dr. Ray Fremista, President, the officers, Board of Trustees, members of Philippine Society for Quality or PSQ, and guests. Allow me to take this opportunity to thank your board for inviting the Institute of Internal Auditors Philippines or IAAP to introduce our organization to your members. One of our IAAP's mission is to collaborate with different professional organizations because we always felt that there is no one professional organization that can lay claim to have exclusive knowledge in any field of study, and therefore the need to share and partner with other professional organizations. It is only fitting that we partner with PSQ, whose objectives, among others, is to promote quality awareness and practices, promote development of its members in quality leadership and technology, and to advocate total quality management. Internal auditors and the quality assurance managers share the common objective of ensuring that all members of our organization participate in improving processes, products, services, and culture to serve our customers better. I am confident that the partnership that IAAP and PSQ will forge moving forward will greatly contribute to the benefit of our members, our stakeholders, and our own profession as a whole. As an initial offering to members of PSQ, IAAP would like to share a special technical session entitled Internal Audit and its Value to Quality Management. This will be facilitated by one of our leading IAAP subject matter expert who has spoken on various topics in many seminars, fora, and events. He will be properly introduced later. Finally, on behalf of the Board of Trustees of the Institute of Internal Auditors Philippines, I would like to welcome the members of the Philippine Society for Quality, and we look forward to a very fruitful collaboration and sharing of knowledge between our organization and members. I hope you will find value in our session today. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sir Ador. Okay, and yes, indeed, it is our hope that moving forward, this collaboration between PSQ and IAP would be lasting. So thank you, Sir Ador. Now, what do you call this? So this time, so we have heard from two, how they describe them, not just brilliant, okay, presidents, but also handsome presidents. And yes, that is my way of seeking a mid-year bonus, Joss. Now, may I see now if you are ready for our discussion for today? So can you please type on the comment section, I am ready. Okay, whether on YouTube or on Facebook, can you please type, I am ready? So let us see who is ready now. All right. So yes, that's good, Jason Dizan, Sir Jason, men of good looks and bearing. I hope I got that I got that word verbatim. So okay, so there are more responses on YouTube, and they are indeed ready. From MG here, I'm ready. Lizelle, I'm ready. Okay, Romel Mananggit says we are ready. Kanina pa. Okay, and Rodora of Valencia, I am ready. Miss Eloy Acosta, the CEO of IAA Philippines, kanina rin pa siya ready. So our speaker for this afternoon is also ready, and he is equally brilliant and pogi as the two presidents that we heard earlier. Our speaker for this afternoon is currently the Chief Audit Executive and the Chief Risk Officer of Global Estate Resorts Incorporated, or Jerry, a subsidiary of MegaWorld Corporation. Before joining Jerry, Mike is the head of Risk Management and Insurance Division of Makati Development Corporation, or MDC, a wholly owned subsidiary and the construction arm of Ayala Land Incorporated, or ALI. He directly reports to the Chief Finance Officer of MDC and functionally reports to the ALI Chief Risk Officer. He joined MDC in 2007 as a senior auditor. During his stint in the role, he championed several initiatives for MDC, such as documentation and improvement of the company's systems and procedures, establishment of the Enterprise-Wide Risk Management Program, or ERM, development of the Business Continuity Management, or BCM, and the Lean Construction Program. Mike holds a master's in business administration degree at the Pamantasan ng Lungsod ng Maynila, or University of the City of Manila. He is a certified lead auditor for ISO 9001-2008 2008 Quality Management System and ISO 14001-2004 Environmental Management System. Mike also completed and passed the Safety Program Audit, Loss Control Management, and Construction Occupational Safety and Health certifications. He also obtained the Certified Internal Control Auditor title in February 2019. He has been a member of the Institute of Internal Auditors Philippines since 2009. He has been a resource public speaker since 2014 for IAA Philippines and providing public and in-house seminars for the past 8 years. Mike is a staunch advocate of the internal audit profession and loves to coach and mentor people. Ladies and gentlemen, from PSQ Nation and from IAA Philippines, let us all welcome Mr. Mike Rojas.
Hi, good afternoon. Thank you, Rudolph, for that very energetic introduction. I hope I'm not as brilliant as Dr. Ray and Sir Ador. I thank you, IAA Philippines and PSQ, for having me here and for speaking me. I'd like to speak today all about. Let me just share my slides. All right. So I'm going to be talking this afternoon is internal audit and its value to quality management. Since Dr. Ray has a very good quote a while ago, I'd like to have also a quote. No, quality is never an accident. It is always a result of intelligent effort. This quote is by John Ruskin. No? I do believe equality must always have, number one, an intent, and secondly, it should be followed by proper execution or the will to produce something superior. All right. Now, for today's discussion, we'll be talking about the definition of terms, what is internal audit, what is quality assurance, what is QMS audit. I'll be also discussing briefly about quality and its relationship with internal audit. Third, the key differences between internal audit, quality assurance. I know that you are very confused on these three parts of our knowledge. No? And then we'll also be discussing relationship between the quality management system, quality assurance, and quality control. And later on, At the last of my topic, I'll be discussing the updated 3 lines of defense model, and of course, the new study, which is combined assurance. All right? So let's start by the definition of terms. So internal audit, as I'd like to put it, is an independent objective assurance and consulting activity that adds value and improve the organization's operations. This came from the APPF standards, or the International Professional Practices Framework of IAA. This is, if you would like to compare it, this is like a standards or guidance to ISO 19011 that guides the internal auditors in auditing ISO standards. All right. Now, its objective is bringing a systematic and disciplined approach to evaluate and improve the effectiveness of risk, governance, and internal control. So that's internal audit. Now, let's go now to the second definition, which is quality assurance. Quality assurance from the Chartered Institute of Internal Auditors is a prevention of defects. It involves, again, the keyword here is systematic activities in the quality management system designed to build awareness of quality. All right? The third definition is quality audits. So, what's quality audit? Again, here's the keyword: systematic, independent, and documented review and evaluation of organization's quality management system in determining that the activities and the results applies to the overall objective of the organization. Okay? And lastly, ISO audit, or what we call QMS audit or management system audit, is a systematic process of collecting and evaluating information about organizations' processes to determine their level of compliance to the certain ISO that we subscribe on. So in the four definitions, internal audit, ISO audit, QMS audit, and quality assurance audit, this is systematic process, meaning it's a disciplined approach on how to evaluate and how to review the organization's processes in achieving the organization's objective. Therefore, in achieving the organization's objective, let's define first what is quality and what is relationship to internal audit. Okay, so here, quality, for me, is the meaning of quality depends on the context, no? Particularly when applied to organization. In manufacturing and production, quality is often determined or defined in relation to defects of a product or non-compliance against a certain standards. Okay? In comparing it to a service organization or service-oriented industries, quality is more likely to mean service excellence or customer care, which is measured in terms of meeting customer expectations or even exceeding customer expectations, or what we consider customer delight. All right? Now, Harvey and Green explored the nature or the usage of quality in relation to higher education. And they have identified somewhat 5 categories of quality. Okay? So, if you can see here, quality as a value for money, meaning, are the processes cost effective by meeting its company's goals? Is the quality is as fit for purpose? Okay, business recommendations, and thus satisfying the needs of its customers. Next is quality as transformational. All right, meaning, is the company or is the processes continuously improve in giving its customers what it wants? All right, and then next is quality as a perfection. All right, with zero errors or zero defects, if you know the Six Sigma, correct? And then lastly, quality as excellence in achieving the highest standards of quality. So you can see here that quality in has several definitions by its context. All right. Now, what is relationship to internal audit? Like any other professions, internal audit should strive to deliver its best quality service to its organization. And how do we do it in internal audit? Number one, we have the IPPF, or the International Professionals Practices Framework. Okay? The international, or the IPPF, or what we called in the internal auditor is the Red Book. It defines the internal audit definition. Okay? We have our own code of ethics or code of discipline. And most importantly, we have the quality assurance and improvement programs. These quality assurance and improvement programs determines how the internal audit function of each organization, whether your internal audit is more of quality focus, it's more on process focus, it's more on risk focus. The quality assurance programs determines how you be able to develop your internal audit organization. An example, in my organization, we conduct our one of our quality assurance program is number one, we do peer reviews. By mean of peer reviews, a certain internal audit team, their internal audit reports or their outputs are being reviewed by another team. Okay? So that it will be reviewed by a separate internal team, and then when they come up with their own conclusion or it comes up with same conclusion, then we can have a standards or level of assurance that our internal audit reports are of standard, are of quality. Okay? Second, that we do implement in implementing quality assurance in our organization is self-assessment and performance appraisals. All right? We do it not only annually, but we do it per engagement level. Meaning, if a certain auditor have finished their own audit engagement, we can do a test check or performance appraisal or even a self-assessment of that auditor, what he or she have learned with regards to the engagement, so that we do not wait for the annual performance appraisal to have feedback mechanism. All right. And then lastly, in delivering the career ladder or professional development of our auditors, we implement our career ladder training for our auditors. We identify their skills and knowledge gaps at the start of the year, and then we provide training programs for them. Okay, so that are some of the examples in our organization or in internal audit organization that I can share to you, that we can have or we can achieve a quality assurance and best quality service of internal audit. Okay? Lastly, I'd like to talk about how to deliver the best quality service is listening to your customers' expectations. All right? So listening to customers' expectations, meaning internal audit should listen to their stakeholders. Who are our stakeholders? The management, the board of directors, our customers, all right? Our employees, all right? So coming up from the Latin word, which is the Latin word audire, no, which means to listen. Okay, that came from internal auditing. Okay, so internal auditing must listen to the customer's expectations. All right, that's why at the end of our audit engagement of our internal audit reports, we do a customer satisfaction survey that we gauge how the internal audit was done, was implemented. Is our internal auditor knowledgeable and skillful in preparing and executing the internal audit process? So we have that feedback mechanism from our customers or our audit clients. Thus, these two, the IPPF, the quality assurance improvement program, and listening to our customers' expectation, the internal audit can lay the foundations in delivering a high quality internal audit service. Now, going to the customers and customers' expectations, we is a buzzword now, all about customer delight, customer centricity, and customer intimacy. But first and foremost, we should identify as quality assurance auditors or internal auditors who is the customer, right? By identifying who is our customers, I'd like to point out that internal audit or internal auditing is a business of servings. Service. We provide service to our stakeholders. We provide service to our organization. Thus, if we are in the business of service, you can see there that we must make our service great. All right? By having or by delivering high quality audits to our customers, we should know first, no? We should know them. We should focus on them. We should fulfill their needs. Again, fulfilling the needs of your internal customers or your audit clients, it's really not about us. It's really about them. I have previous auditors that, they just count number of audit findings. All right? Number of defects, number of non-conformities, number of non-compliances. But really, those findings, those observations, does it have value to the organization? All right? You must ask, or our management asked us, okay, Mike, you have these several numbers of findings. What's in it for us? What's in it for us? How do we improve? Then there you must have a value to them. You must focus on your organization, not just all about quantity of internal audit findings and internal audit observation. Again, it's not about us, it's about them. And how do we make our service great? Number one, our output should be fact-based decision making. Okay? Second, our thinking must be system. We must see the overall impact and not just silo thinking. All right? Third, we must be conscious on the business process improvement. How internal audit will be able to add value by improving or re-engineering the process, making it simple for them. Okay? Fourth is all about customer focus. No? It's all about customer focus. And lastly, your internal audit processes must also have continual improvement. All right? Now, the key difference between internal audit, quality assurance, and management system audit can be found basically on the three lines of defense model. No, this is an IAA position paper which talk about the three lines of defense in effective risk management and control. Basically, this is in a certain organization, in a certain company, they propose or they coined that there are three levels of defenses. Okay, the
Mike?
first line of defense.
Hi, Mike. Can you hear me? I'm sorry
Yes,
for cutting you off. Very
sure,
quickly, can you click on the hide feature in there, um, in
sure.
the sharing option?
Yeah,
There,
that's fine.
okay. We're all
All
good
right.
now. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Ray. So, going back, the IIA position paper proposes that there are three levels of defense in certain companies or in certain organization. All right. And they manages this risk. All kinds of risk or entity level risk hampering the organization from achieving objectives. The first line of defense are the line management. They are the ones that own and management the risk. These are your operations department, your sales and marketing. So they are the frontliners, so to speak. They own the management controls and they also own the internal control measures. All right. The second line of defense is more on the oversight of the risk. No, by means of oversight, meaning they oversee that the first line of defense are doing its job. So what are these functions in the organization? There are the finance, the health and safety and security, there is risk management there, the legal and compliance. All right. And there in the second level of defense, you will find quality assurance or the quality. All right. And then on the third level of defense is the last line of defense, which is as internal audit. It its function is to really provide an independent assurance. No, when I say independent assurance, because they are both reporting to the senior management and the board to the audit committee. All right, they provide overall independent assurance that the first line of defense and the second line of defense are doing its job and managing those risks so that the organization could meet the objective. So here, in the three lines of defense, you can see the key differences between internal audit and quality assurance. All right? Some of the differences here are, number one, internal audit is defined as a systematic and disciplined approach, while likely also quality assurance is also systematic, but then again, because of the context, or the different context of quality, it's more of an abstract concept, all right? But they are both systematic and disciplined approach, all right? Next difference is internal audit, we subscribe and follow to the code of ethics of the IPPF standards, all right? While the quality assurance subscribes and follows what specific guidelines it subscribes to. Like, for example, what kind of industry, what kind of company or industry are you part of, all right? Next difference is internal audit is focused more on the governance, meaning the tone of the top, and then the risk and the internal control of the organization. While quality assurance, for that matter, is focused mainly on operations and the processes that will ensure that there will be no defect of a product and service of the company. Okay? If you try now to have the key difference between internal audit and management system audit, okay? Again, internal audit here is all about GRC. When I say GRC, it's governance, risk, and internal audit. Okay? It is also independent activity being audited and independent of management. And internal audit is directly reporting to the audit committee that represents the board of directors. Our output as internal auditors are we do an appraisal or assessment of controls and compliance and also process improvement. While QMS audit is all about review of the compliance against certain standards. Like, for example, the ISO 9001:2015, which is quality management system. All right. Also, the QMS or QMS audit is also an independent, but again, the reports of the QMS auditors are for the line and senior management. Okay? And lastly, in QMS audit, output is a statement of compliance on the management system it really subscribed to. There are certain organizations that have integrated ISO certifications. All right? So it depends upon what ISO standards are you or your company or your organization subscribes to. All right? Now, if there are differences between internal audit, quality assurance, and QMS audit, there are also relationship. All right? When we say quality management system, this is the system, meaning these are the set of activities, processes, no, that documents the procedures and responsibilities for achieving quality objectives of the company. All right? And a chunk of the quality management system is quality assurance. When we say quality assurance, this mainly focuses on the processes that proactively ensures the prevention of defects. All right? Now, part of the quality assurance is another chunk, which is quality control. Quality control is part of the quality assurance that focuses instead on the product reactively detecting any defects, all right, of a certain product. Okay? Now, this relationship between quality system and quality assurance, they are not different from each other. In fact, they are not mutually exclusive and thus related to the overall management or the quality management system of the organization. Okay? Thus, the new updated three lines of defense now has overlapping between the governing body, the management, which composed of the first line of defense and the second line of defense, which quality assurance or quality function resides, and internal audit, providing independent assurance. So, in the updated three lines of defense, these three entities in the organization or in a company or these functions overlap and should, again, should complement each other for the overall and combined assurance that the organization or the company will meet its objective. Okay? Here are some of the detailed example where this function overlaps. You can see here the second line of defense and the third line of defense, which is internal audit. On the first column, you have here the main processes or main general processes of each organization. You have the strama or the strategic management processes. These are the high-level management processes. Like for example, you have planning and budgeting, corporate and legal and compliance. The core business part of the organization is more of the operational side. All right, they're the core business of the company. If you're a real estate, so you have sales and marketing, you have construction, you have operations, and you have procurement. If you're a manufacturing, core production or manufacturing, this where resides under the core business. And of course, the third general type of processes in an organization is resource management. Here you can find finance and accounting, and of course, human resources. Okay, now let's take a look. Where does the second and third line of defenses overlap, resulting to duplicate assurance? Can you see it now? Okay, so for example, in the strategic management process, planning and budgeting sub-process are being done by the finance function. Okay? And also, risk management is also being tapped on in providing assurance in identifying those risks. And lastly, on the third line of defense, internal audit, since it is the overall assurance of an organization, it also reviews the processes of the planning process and the budgeting process. So there you can see that finance, risk management, and internal audit provides the same assurance that the planning process and the budgeting process will meet its objective. Okay? Second example, in the operation side, okay, under the core business, compliance also provide assurance that operations are meeting its objective. Meaning, for example, if you are in a real estate industry, making it sure that the construction process conforms to building codes, conforms to the DNR, environmental compliance certificate, and the rest of the other regulations when it comes to project development, correct? And then, quality in turn also reviews operations process in terms of the, the project processes, or making it sure that if you develop a certain mall, if you develop a certain residential project, it conforms to the quality as specified by the customer. And then later on the third line of defense, again, internal audit reviews the operations processes, making it sure, or making an opinion, an overall opinion, that the operations processes are doing its job in making or achieving the overall objective of the company. So again, this is an overlap resulting to duplicate assurance. Now, because of that, there is a new study, all right, which is the combined assurance, where the second, all right, and the third line of defense rely on each other to provide the stakeholders, especially the board of directors, that all controls and processes are working effectively to manage the risk and thereby meeting company's objectives. So here, in the combined assurance model, there is a single accountability and there is a single point person on who to provide assurance for that. Okay? And then, having that single line of accountability, internal audit or quality assurance for that matter can focus more on the other niches or other areas of concern, or other corners or other processes of the company that is not being reviewed or evaluated, since there is a lot to review in an organization. Okay? And this is aligned with the performance standard 2050, which is coordination and reliance. It says there that the head of the internal audit or the chief audit executive should share information, coordinate activities, and consider relying upon the work of others, of other internal and external assurance and consulting service providers to ensure proper coverage and minimize duplication efforts. So you get me there, that we could rely on quality assurance, we could rely on legal and compliance department on their reviews of the certain processes. Okay, that results to efficiently working together. Therefore, there is no duplication and minimizing the duplication of efforts and work of the different functions in an organization. Okay? Now, lastly, quality for me doesn't just happen. All right? The management of quality is a discipline that seeks to ensure organizations are as successful as possible. This requires framework or a quality management system that contains policies, procedures, objectives, especially structures, resources, and procedures that translate good intentions into practice and framework. And all of you as quality advocates here know the PDCA cycle, right? Or the plan, do, check, act cycle. So what can internal audit add or have value in the quality management system? Number one, since ISO 2015 now espouses major changes from the previous version, it's all about risk-based thinking. Internal audit as a champion of risk, as it is one of the three of the items of why we do internal audit, which is and internal control, we can be champion for risk assessment, okay, risk identification, and risk prioritization, okay. The second value of internal audit in quality management is internal audit. We consider ourselves as an architect of change, as a catalyst of change. Thereby, we go not just only identifying what are the problems of the processes, but also we recommend what are the process improvement needed for the processes to be strengthened, and what are the process improvement that needed in the certain organization to simplify everything in its day-to-day conduct of business. Okay? Now, for my final word for today, again, always continue to improve for the better and do not be contented. Your major challenge is yourself, and this is by way of complacency. Have you seen the face of complacency? Anyone? Have you seen face of complacency? Ako meron akong here, no? It's Alexander Carline. Alexander Carline, as you know, for me personally, he is my face of complacency. Why? Alexander Carline is a Russian Federation or Soviet Union wrestler. Okay? He is considered or nicknamed the Russian Bear or the Russian King Kong. Okay? He won several gold medals in several Olympic Games. And mind you, his wrestling record is 887 wins and 0 loss. All right? Until after 13 years of undefeated and in an international competition and 6 years without giving a point, he remained complacent. He doesn't improve until he lost, okay, to Rulon Gardner of United States in the Sydney Olympics in 1997. Carline previously defeated Gardner in 1997, but then again, after 13 years of complacency, Rulon Gardner defeated him. Okay? So with that, that is my end of my presentation. Thank you and good day, everyone.
Very, very interesting, Sir Mike. In fact, from the beginning to the end, walang tapon. Everything was very insightful. From your definition of quality at the very beginning until that phase of complacency, huh? I was quite intrigued by that phase of complacency. Like, who is this? Who is this Russian wrestler? But then you gave us a visual of what complacency is. Okay, again, thank you, Sir Mike. Now, of course, there might be some, I can see some applauses on the YouTube comments. But before we applaud, before we appreciate Sir Mike on his insights about internal audit and its value to quality management, perhaps you might have some questions that you would like to clarify or you would like to have an explanation on. So please post them on the Facebook comment section or the YouTube comment section. And in fact, we have one on Facebook. Are you ready, sir? Sir Mike?
Sure.
There you go. So we have it there on the first, we are there on screen by Ricky Rabang. Where does the voice of the customer fit in the internal audit?
That's a very good question. The voice of the customer fit normally, particularly when we do customer satisfaction survey, because we consider our audit client as customers. All right. So our customer satisfaction survey that we implemented in my organization is also a VOC or voice of the customers.
Ooh.
Now, going over the organization as a whole, we also implement in my previous company the BOB, or the voice of the business. When we say voice of the business, these are what do you call the feedbacks from employees, from managers, and for all the internal organization. And after we conduct the voice of the business, then we go now to the next level, which is the voice of the customers, which since we are in the construction company back then, the voice of our customers is our SBU, or our operations entities. Like for example, we conduct reviews or voice of the customers with Avida, Ayala Land, because we consider them as our external customers. And ultimately, our quality department or our quality assurance department has its own voice of the customers when they conduct turnover of units, okay, turnover of units and projects to the different what we call SBUs. So that encapsulate the voice of the customers and voice of the business.
There you go. Okay, thank you. And in fact, some of our viewers here are also sharing their learnings. I think this is more of a statement rather than a question, but let us try to interpret. Does your IQA finding have value to the operation of the auditee?
Pardon?
Does your IQA finding or findings have value to the operation of the auditee?
Of course. Normally, the IQA should have value to whole operations of the company. Like for example, what I've just mentioned, no, I have auditors that has, for example, 100 audit findings or 100 internal audit observation. And then when we present it to the top management, sasabihin sa akin, Mike, what's in it for us?
Yeah.
How do we improve? So quantity or quality should be priority over the quantity of your audit finding. That's how you add value to the organization. You just not pinpoint what are the problems, but also you recommend. By recommending, okay, by agreeing management actions, okay, but agreeing with management what are the needs to be improved, that's how you add value to your organization, and not just identifying the problem. All right.
Yeah. So recommending actions too. All right. So thank
course.
you, Marley and Ricky. So we now have another one from Salve. What are your top challenges in the field of audits, I guess, particularly internal audit, in your organization?
Well, challenges number one is like for example, now we are in a quarantine restriction because of the pandemic. So I think what the most challenging for us now is to do internal audit and reviews, because we cannot travel. We cannot, our projects are found nationwide in the different parts of the Philippines. So we cannot do a site inspection and observation. We are just now relying on the different reports being submitted by other management assurance providers. So what we did in our organization, we pivot. Okay, we adapt to the situation. We revisited our audit plan and determine what can we do, what are the audit engagement we can do here in the office rather than going outside. Okay, and then we try to prioritize it and then making it happen. Like for example, reviewing of the accounts receivables, that we can do in the office. All right, so we try to adapt to the situation because of the limited face-to-face and site inspection with our different projects.
Yeah.
So again,
indeed,
that's the major challenges for us now, internal auditors. We can travel, We do not have now the perks of being an internal auditor, which is to travel,
Yeah.
if you may say so.
Yeah, and of course we have to prioritize, of course, our health pa rin. Okay.
Correct.
Okay. Thank you, Salve, for that question. Let's have another one from Shane. Can an internal auditor be a part of the QMS audit team?
Oh, yes, definitely yes. Of course. Me, in my previous organization, as part of the internal audit team, I am also the lead auditor, the ISO lead auditor of the QMS, and thereby I became also the QMR, or the quality management representative of the company to ISO. So
Ooh.
the quality management system can be a part of your internal audit organization.
Oh, so that's
So the
what
answer is
QMR
yes.
means. So that's what QMR
Ah,
means. Quality.
quality management representative.
Oh,
This is
I thought it was quality micro has. Okay.
no. Ikaw, Rudo pa.
Thank you, Shane, for that question. Let's have from Van Tu. How do you conduct training or mentoring for potential internal auditors?
Well, at we conduct train. It's all about, making it sure that, number one, during his onboarding, or his and her onboarding, we definitely have the what do you call, TNA, all right, or the training needs analysis, making it sure that that the gaps of the employee versus what is required of the positions are being bridged, correct? So that the results, this is assisted also by our human resources department in determining what are the training needs of the individuals, of the internal auditors, and that training needs analysis is an input to our training programs for our
There you
internal
go.
auditors. All
There you
right.
go.
So annually, we revisit those training needs analysis. And mind you, our training program, or our training hours, is part of the key performance indicator of our internal auditor. Right now, this year, an internal auditor is 5% of his key performance indicator, or what we call goal, is he or she should achieve 48 hours of training per year. So that's
Wow.
part of his KRA. Because I'm an advocate of continuous learning. So
Yes.
I make it sure that my auditors, or my staff, or the internal auditors, are continuously learning. So it is part of the KRA to um, attend formal trainings, or even individual coaching and mentoring.
Yeah. Yeah, I can vouch for that you are an advocate of continuous learning because you are one of our speakers at IAA Philippines. And
Correct.
of course, you also finish MBA. There you go. From
That's
Joanna,
correct.
thank you, Van. From Joanna, do you have any top three hacks or key strategies to change an organization's culture of complacency to a culture of CQI in an HEI?
Well, number one, you must have the academic excellence.
Mm,
Okay. Academic excellence is, um, you must have your individuals, kasi in part of the organization, in order for you to be a catalyst or architect of change, management must perceive you to be the subject matter expert, correct? So
mhm.
academic excellence is very important, and by being a subject matter expert. Okay. Secondly, which I believe this should be the first, is integrity. Okay.
Okay. Mhm.
Integrity is first and foremost. Okay. Making it sure that when you say it, you do it. When you say that I will deliver the internal audit report by next week, by hook or by crook, you will deliver it. Okay. And then secondly, for me, it's all about relationship management.
Okay.
Okay? Relationship management meaning you do not only communicate, all right? Or you do not only visit your audit client during audit season. Okay? Try to visit them when you are not when you're not auditing them. Okay? I have one example. One of my auditors keeps emailing requested documents from our treasury head. Okay? And then I called him up, my internal auditor. I say to him, nasa kabilang office lang siya. Why not visit her? Okay? Why not discuss issues with her rather than emailing and bombarding him with emails? So for me, personal touch or face-to-face discussions of issues are lastly very important for an internal auditor to succeed in our profession.
There
So
you
that's
have
it.
it.
Moral excellence, integrity, and relationship management.
There you go. Okay, thank you. Thank you. So I hope you're happy with that one, Joanna. Next, Pamela Jane Aguilos. Hi, sir. I would like to know whether ISO lead auditors can satisfy the requirements of CIA.
Uh, well, it's a different book of knowledge, ISO versus the CIA. But if you'd like to, yeah, you can do it also. Both be a certified lead auditor and also a certified internal auditor.
Yeah, so you can do both,
Correct.
and we recommend that. And from Rajiv of India, how to prioritize the area of an organization to give focus in audit plan.
Um, in our organization, we conduct risk assessment, okay, annually. We revisit the different, so we revisit the enterprise-wide risk of the company, and then down to the process level risk, we revisit it, okay, and then we try to review what are the risks that hampering the company from achieving objectives. So annually we revisit it, and then we dovetail it with the processes and controls that manages those risks. And then we conduct a simple risk assessment by putting up risk prioritization criteria, or what we call risk rating. So, for example, this year, um, because of the pandemic, health and safety and environment is the topmost risk of the
Yeah.
different CEOs and different organizations. So when we took that, wherein we are cognizant of that health and safety concern is the topmost risk of different organization, we try to look what are the controls managing those risks. So you have health and safety department, you have compensation and benefits from HR, you have the labor relations. So we try to give priority to that because it is the topmost risk of the company. So that's how we do it. We revisit the different risks of the company first, and then try to make a risk rating out of it.
Okay. From Emma Claire Claveria, can you share with us the self-assessment tools that you use for auditors? Because I agree with you that we also need to have a check on how we do audits. Salamat.
Yeah, sure. I can share it with you. But then again, the self assessment. What is good in our self assessment? It's not periodically. You know, it's not annually, it's not quarterly, but it's per level engagement. So me, as the chief audit executive, I have a glimpse of what this auditor learned when I give them this procurement audit. What does he learn? What did he learn about it? So it is per level engagement. So that's the beauty of
Okay.
it. I can share it with you, but maybe later I can.
Okay, thank you, sir, for that in advance. So that is from Emma. Okay. Next, from DAI Engineering. Is there also a way to gauge whether or not customer satisfaction inputs are acceptable or not? Nako. Like, should we also consider clients' credibility and standing? Baka heckler lang, baka ano, baka hater
Uh,
lang.
yeah, that would be a problem. Um, you should also, yeah, I agree that you should also consider that, kasi 'di ba yung quote unquote yung mema, ika nga yung mema sabi lang, 'di ba? May mga
Yeah.
ganyan, no? But well, you cannot please everyone, correct? So, um I think what is important is, to welcome these feedbacks. Okay? These raw feedbacks, you should welcome it. Okay? And then try to process it in your own. And then try to when I say try to process it, try to look what are really the valid comments and feedbacks from your customers. And there you can see what are you can separate the things that are, what can you say, outliers lang or may masabi lang, and then
Mhm.
what is really valid feedbacks or customer feedbacks from your organization.
All right. So in that case, then, welcome and filter. There you go.
Correct.
So this will be the last question, Sir Mike. Okay, from Lyndon Cepeda. Having audited different BUs and being familiar with their processes, is it safe to recommend the process you've observed in one BU to another?
Uh, that's a very good question. Um, for me, not always. All right, because different organizations and different companies is uniquely on their own. No, you must be able to also factor in the culture of the company. That's very important. The culture of the company and also the workplace environment. So it's not one size fits all, correct? So
Yeah.
what I can suggest is try to, get the bits and pieces or the best practices from this company, from this first company, and try to implement it to the second company. So there's no really rule of thumb in, what works for the company A can actually work for company B.
All right. Thank you so much, Sir Mike. And oh, there's another one. Okay. So I think that was the penultimate. That's that's one talaga. Okay. So do you find remote auditing efficient, given that face-to-face audits are not encouraged at this time? So what is your personal take on this?
Well, it's a challenge. My first take of this is it's a challenge for us internal auditors because I've said a while ago that relationship management and personal trust is one of my key in
Yeah.
in being a successful auditor. But we try to adapt to the situation. But in the question that do you find remote auditing efficient? Yeah, it's very efficient because, for example, if you try to, we have projects in Boracay, we have projects in Iloilo. So anytime I can contact them through virtual presence, all right. So it's more efficient in a way that don't have to go there just to discuss some issues and problems. So I think remote auditing is quite efficient in that context.
All right, Sir Mike. In fact, other than the questions that flood the YouTube and Facebook comment section, there are a lot of positive words of thanking you for the insights that you shared. So, for example, we have earlier DAI Engineering asked question earlier about the feedback, and he said, "Wow, I'm satisfied with the answer. True, even though it may seem not acceptable, we still need to welcome and process the feedback." Nice. Rajiv, also from India, mentioned, "Thank you for clarifying my doubt." Okay, there. And yes, also those who didn't ask questions, but they really shared their learnings on the YouTube comment section and the Facebook comment section. Thank you so much for sharing your takeaways. There you go. What do you call this? Focus on this one. Ang ganda nito. From Alanet Aranzasu. What a name. I love your surname. I gained new insights about IA today. Thank you, Sir Mike, PSQ, and IIAP. Indeed, we are so grateful for your insights, Sir Mike, on this. And for those who gain new insights or whose insights are reinforced, you already know them. Please write your thank you notes to Sir Mike on the comment section of Facebook and YouTube, so that later when he would not be busy, he would go back to this, and of course he will feel your love through your
Of course.
through your thank you statements. So we will now be awarding this certificate of appreciation to Sir Michael R. Rojas, for imparting valuable insights and inspiration to the participants, to these online participants, to these engaging participants during the internal audit and its value to quality management webinar on June 24, 2021. Signed by the Chairman and President of IAA Philippines, Mr. Amador Racpan, and by the President of Philippine Society for Quality Incorporated, Dr. Ray Fremista. Marami pong salamat, Sir Mike.
Thank you very much, PSQ, IIA, Mr. Rudolph, Dr. Ray, and Sir Ador for this for welcoming me and having me as a speaker for today's session. Thank you very
Yes,
much. I really appreciate
sir.
it. Of
Walang
course,
tapon.
all the participants, thank you very much for all your kind words.
Yes. Walang tapon, sir. Thank you so much. Okay, so we have just shown the certificate of appreciation to Sir Mike. Now, for you to have your own certificate, okay, for this event, so we'll be showing you on screen the QR code that you would scan so that you can participate in the survey and thereby earning your certificate. So please grab your phones right now and scan this QR code and and start answering the survey. Or you may do it later because we have another presentation for you. All right. So before we say goodbye, of course, this is in collaboration with IAA Philippines, and it is just right for us to introduce ourselves to you, for you to get to know us better. So we were founded in 1948. It is the IAA Philippines is a local organization of internal audit practitioners dedicated to the advancement of internal auditing and its value to the organization and the community. To get to know more about IAAP, please watch this video. So there you have it. That's our brief presentation about IAA Philippines. For more information about IAA Philippines, you may visit our Facebook page, Institute of Internal Auditors Philippines, open and quote parenthesis IAAP, and you may also visit our website at www.iaa-p.org. So thank you everyone for joining us this afternoon. This is Rudolph, and please stay safe and enjoy the rest of the week. Goodbye, you guys. Thank you. Thank you, PSQ.